Sweet Science Brothers coming to you live from NYC. It's your boy Av. And listen, guys, I'm sorry I haven't been around for a long time, me and my brother. My brother's been busy doing his own thing. But as for me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like, I've been like I just want to let you guys know that, you know, everything's good. We're going to be back on the grind making these videos. It's just a lot of letdowns and disappointments have been going on in boxing in general. So, first of all, I just want to tell you guys something that you already know. But first and foremost, our agenda as boxing fans, okay? As true boxing fans. And our agenda on the Sweet Science Brothers, okay? And the agenda of any legitimate channel on any YouTube or any boxing fan in general. The agenda is the best fighting the best. And the agenda is to get all the champions to fight each other, to have the true champions, the lineal champions, one champion in every division. And any boxing channel or anyone that claims to be a boxing fan who's not calling for that is full of shit, is some type of biased motherfucker, or just like a casual fan. Excuse my language for dropping the F-bomb. I'm done with all of that. It's not necessary. But going back, anybody who's not calling for unification fights, okay? Anyone who is not calling for unification fights is full of nonsense. They're not a true boxing fan. They got some agenda. And the agenda of this channel and me as a boxing fan, and the agenda of any legitimate boxing channel or anybody who calls themselves a true boxing fan, should be to see one champion in every division. Unification fights, the best fighting the best. That's the agenda of this channel. That's the agenda of any official legitimate boxing channel. And when you watch my channel or when you watch any other channel, you'll see that as a theme. You may not agree with what I say. You may not agree with my critique on certain fighters. You may think I'm biased, which I'm not, but you may think that, and you're at liberty to do so, and it's good for you to disagree with me from time to time, and me to disagree with you. Otherwise, it's boring if we all think the same. But my point is that my agenda, if you want to say, oh, you have an agenda? Yes, I do. I have an agenda. My agenda is the best fighting the best. My agenda is getting the top guys to unify and having one champion. And my agenda is to have everyone who deserves a shot to get their shot. I want fighters to fight their mandatories. I want unification fights. That's my agenda. You want to call this, you want to say, oh, this channel has an agenda? Yes, we do. Our agenda is like, you know, the best fighting the best, period. Whether I like you or I don't like you as a fighter. If you're fighting your mandatories and you're unifying with other champions, I gotta respect you. As simple as that. So, with that being said, I've been real depressed lately about boxing. Not depressed clinically, that's nonsense, but I mean, it's just a depressing state. What really got me low, and I'm being honest with you guys, is the Andy Lee-Billy Joe Saunders fight. That fight, I mean, when I saw Andy Lee go to the ring there and just, you know, I felt like he just put on an awful performance. I think the worst performance I've seen him put on. That really let me down, you know. And when I saw Billy Joe Saunders win, I knew. I was like, okay, we're not getting a Golovkin fight. We're not going to get unifications. When Billy Joe Saunders won, that was it. I was like, okay, it's just not going to happen. And that really got me depressed. I was really upset about that. And then what really got me upset too was the whole Manny Pacquiao is thinking about fighting Timothy Bradley. Don't get me wrong, guys. I don't consider it a cherry pick because it's not. Timothy Bradley's a pound for pound, the best at welterweight other than Manny Pacquiao. I mean, that's the reality. That's how good he is. But the thing is that I've seen the fight 2 times. I don't want to see it a 3rd time. I'm not ordering that fight on pay-per-view. It's not happening, point blank, period. I'm not ordering it. Will I watch it? Of course I will. I watch every fight. But I'm not paying for it. I'm going to go to someone's house who's ordering it, or I'm going to try to stream it, or I'll just watch it next weekend on HBO. I don't care. I'm not interested in that fight. I'm not interested in that fight. I'm not really interested in the Khan fight either. I just want Crawford. I want Crawford. I want that fight. And it's not going to happen. I know it's not going to happen. All the evidence is pointing to it not happening. And that's really disappointing. I can't tell you guys, I'm serious here, bro. Like, my favorite fighter is Terence Crawford. And then after him, well, it's Terence Crawford's my favorite in regards to his craft and skill. He's the most beautiful fighter to watch right now. I love Terence Crawford. I'd say him and Kovalev are my favorite fighters, period. And Gennady Golovkin. You know, and I'm sure that everybody's three favorites are those guys. I mean, it's just, they're the best fighters in the world. That's it. There's other great fighters. Chocolito's great. You know, Rigondeaux and all these guys, they have skills. But I'm telling you right now, when Terence Crawford, Gennady Golovkin, or Sergey Kovalev fight anybody, including bums and trash cans, it's a big event for me. It's a huge event for me. I want to see those fights. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? People are like, oh, these guys are fighting bums, Gennady Golovkin, blah, blah. Well, if everyone's scared to fight Gennady and he has to fight whoever just to fight, I'll watch it. I want to see Gennady active. If he can't get the Canelo fight or all this stuff, I just want to see him knocking people out. Bam, 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 bam. Fuck it. Fight bums. I'm cool with it. I want you to fight. I want Gennady to fight at least 3 times this year. Crawford too, and Sergey. I want these damn fights. So, going back, I've been depressed about boxing. The fact that Billy Joe Saunders defeated Andy Lee, it really put me down. And then the fact that Manny's not going to pick Crawford, that fight's not going to happen, is still a possibility, a chance, but it's not looking like it's going to happen. And when I see now rumors, you know, there's a report on Boxing Scene that Michael Kant's confirmed that he actually called Adrian Broner, and they're trying to have a Adrian Broner versus Pacquiao fight. I mean, come on, bro. You're willing to go and fight Al Heyman's 140-pound champion, Adrian Broner, over Top Ranks champion, Terence Crawford? You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, listen, if Pacquiao fights Broner, I'm all for it. Fuck it. Yeah, that I want to see more than Bradley. Bradley's a 10 times better fighter than Broner. I think Manny Pacquiao will masterclass Broner. I don't think that fight's going to be competitive at all. But, you know, it is what it is. That fight's going to sell. We can't deny that. No matter how much you might dislike that matchup, it's going to sell. I don't like it. I want the Crawford fight. I think by trying to get Broner in the ring, I think that's, you know, I just think Manny Pacquiao and Michael Kant are spitting in Bob Arum's face with that right there. But it is what it is. You know, maybe Bob Arum on the back end could make a deal. If that fight does happen, maybe Bob Arum could tell Broner, like, okay, if we'll sign you for the Pacquiao fight if you agree to fight Terence Crawford next. That would be pretty cool. But I don't see that happening. I don't see Bob Arum being cool with this at all. And I think this is going to be a big problem. Like when Michael Kahn said yes, you know, we called Adrian Broner, and I wish he didn't speak to the media. I was like, oh wow, you guys went like behind Bob Arum's back. There's some real big drama going on with Pacquiao and Bob Arum. But, you know, I've been down about the fact that the Crawford fight is looking like it's not going to happen. I was really upset about the fact that Billy Joe Saunders beat Andy Lee. Okay, and, you know, it's just like, whatever, you know. Rigondeaux put a terrible performance on. You know, he doesn't seem to be interested in fighting Lomachenko. And then, I mean, I just don't know, man. It's like, for me, the fact that Tyson Fury is getting stripped of his IBF title, and it just feels like a lot of things are in play to make unification fights even more difficult. So that's what's made me feel really upset. And this Gennady Golovkin situation is the cherry on top that I haven't spoken about because, you know, I'm upset, man, and I don't want to come off ranting, you know, but it's like, the WBC played Gennady Golovkin any way you slice it. They played Gennady Golovkin, you know, and there's a couple of things I don't know. You know, they showed this, there's a picture, right, with Eric Gomez, Tom Loeffler, and Mauricio Suleiman, and they're holding up a contract that's signed. And the contract is only thing, this thing is only saying that they've agreed to allow one interim fight, and that in September, that after the interim fight, they're going to be given 15 days to negotiate, and if they don't agree to something by then, the fight goes to a purse bid. But the thing is, wasn't that the situation just now? That they had 15 days, then you extended it, then you extended it again, and now they're having interim fights. And now it's like, all you're saying is they're going to have an interim fight and they're going to go through the same process. The only difference this time is that there's a mandatory purse bid that's actually in the document that was signed. But the thing is, that doesn't mean we're going to get to fight. I just feel like everything that Gomez says, everything Oscar De La Hoya says, it's kind of skeptical. Oh, big fights take a long time to be made, and we got to make sure all the right things are in place, and yada, yada, yada. And it just seems like they have no intention of fighting Gennady Golovkin. Not even at a catchweight. That catchweight, Gennady's going to agree to that. Even Bernard Hopkins came out and made a statement saying, you know, the Gennady Golovkin agreed to 56.5 pounds already. So for me, it's like, you know, they don't want this fight. That catchweight is a joke. They don't want this fight. And I think that two things are likely to happen. Either after this next fight, Canelo is just going to try to negotiate another deal, maybe some step-aside money to have another interim fight in September, or he's just going to let go of the WBC belt, give it to Gennady, and hold on to that lineal title. And they're going to say some shit like, oh, Canelo's not ready to be full 160 yet, but we're going to, in 2 or 3 fights, we're going to challenge Gennady Golovkin, that we're going to fight him. We just need a little more time to prepare. And that's the game plan that they're going to do with Canelo. I guarantee you. That's what I see happening. They're just going to relinquish the title. They're going to relinquish the title. They're going to keep the lineal strap. They're going to fight 3 or 4 more fights. And, you know, they're going to just wait for Gennady Golovkin to slow down or leave the division due to, like, lack of competition. Now, another bad thing we have is that Daniel Jacobs has the, you know, regular WBA title. And they may mandate that fight. The WBA may mandate that fight and make it go to a purse bid, in which case Al Haymon will win that purse bid. And there's a likely chance that Gennady Golovkin may have to let go of the WBA belt. So we might even see Gennady Golovkin gain the WBC title by Canelo relinquishing it, and he may lose the Super WBA title because Jacobs, you know, they might not be able to beat Al Haymon at this purse bid. So it's just the politics of boxing are getting so annoying, and it's just too much for me. And I feel like Canelo, Terence Crawford, and all champions, and anybody who's signing a deal with HBO or any network, in the contract it should have an option of, in the event of a title unification, I can fight outside of this network if a purse bid needs to be made. That should be in every contract, period. And I hope that this will be a lesson for other fighters out there, that you need to put that in your contract. You need to stipulate that if you plan on being an elite fighter who wants to be pound for pound king, lineal, undisputed champion in your division. You know, if you're signing a contract with any network, you should put a stipulation saying, in the event of a purse bid for a unification fight, I can fight outside the network. But that doesn't seem to be the case with any of these fighters. It is what it is. So this is just an update from me. Sweet Science Brothers coming to you live from NYC. I hope you guys are doing good. I know I'm talking all doom and gloom, but 2016 is going to be a great year in boxing. Sergey Kovalev is going to break out and have some big fights. And Gennady Golovkin's going to be kicking some ass too. It's just a matter of, you know, I mean, these top guys don't want to fight him, but we're going to get to see him knock some guys out. And you know what, bro? Seeing people get knocked out is my crack. That's why I'm in this game. I just love that stuff. So either way, you know, I know Terence Crawford's going to perform. He's going to have a great year. Golovkin's going to have a great year. Kovalev's going to have a great year. And, you know, there's going to be some good fights. You know, we're just not going to get the big unifications that we want. I don't see that happening. It is what it is. Sweet science, brothers. Peace.